What's up, my friends? Today we're going to just build some lineups. Going to dive right in down below in the description section. Bunch of free sheets for PGA, MLB, NASCAR, MMA. Just, it's all out there. It's there for you. Give it a look. All right, let's go. So we are talking about the Kansas Speedway, and we have ourselves quite the nice Thursday night here with MLB and NASCAR, PGA in the morning. Very exciting. There's a few drivers that really jump off the page for me, and they kind of are, they're in spots where I'm not sure if they'll be chalk either, because there's an abundance of just great looking options. And we'll start here and we'll work our way down Harvick all the way down to Ryan Preece, and about 10 or so drivers in between we will talk about. Kevin Harvick, how do you not like this guy? He's been unbelievable. If you look at his driver rating at Kansas Speedway as well, it's off the charts. I mean, this guy is so good no matter where he goes. And, I'm going to be on him. So will the rest of the field. He's going to be somebody who has, pretty solid laps led potential. If he gets up there in the 60s or 70s and he can finish top three or so, get maybe 15, 20 fastest laps, he's going to be hard-pressed not to return solid value and potentially be in the optimal lineup. Ryan Blaney, coming off one of the best races of his whole life, 150 laps led, has done all right here at Kansas Speedway. Mixed results over the last few years, but he is driving so well right now. 1.5-mile track, always puts Martin Truex Jr. in here. He's always in play on these shorter tracks. Here we are at Kansas Speedway. He's done well here. And we're talking about a first, a second, fifth, and a sixth in 5 of his last 6 races. One person down here, not Kyle Busch. Sorry, buddy, not until you get some serious practice. And he doesn't get the practice anymore. So Kyle Busch is just not the same driver right now. And I don't get the 6.75 decimal odds here for him. So no thanks. Chase Elliott here, 11K. DK did a good job pricing him here. It makes it uncomfortable to roster him. He has done so well here. 2nd, 4th, and 1st over the last 3 years. I'm going to make sure I get some exposure there. After that, though, this whole section right here, I'm kind of skipping over Di Benedetto, Boucher, Kenseth, Byron, Dillon, Wallace Jr., Newman. No thank you, no thank you, no thank you. Down here, 19 through 25, I want a piece of every single one of these drivers. So let's keep a quick tally here. This is like an initial quick player pool that I'm just slapping together without much research or anything, right? Because I don't have the NASCAR Study Hub ready. CG's working on that. If you want to take a peek, it's going to look very similar to this. That's right. What's on screen right now is a nice sampler for you. If you want to take a look at that, by all means, just stare at it while I'm talking. If you want it, you're going to have to sign up. Patreon.com/riseorfall. We have study hubs just like that for every single sport, basically, and they're all rolling out one at a time right now. PGA, MLB, both out. NASCAR should be out later tonight, and then we will also have those for MMA this weekend, and then we'll just keep going down the line. NBA and NHL next weekend, and NFL to come. Going to try to do them for LOL as well, so you got to give it a look. Things are getting pretty fun over there, up to 380 members, and we're just through 4 days into month 3 here. It's pretty wild. All right, Jimmie Johnson, incredible history here. He's raced really well here. We're talking pretty well the last 2 years, but if you go back even further past 2015, I mean, he has so many top 10s. I was looking at it, it's like out of 29 races or so, I think he had 13 top 10 finishes. He's done so well. So anyways, over the last few years, he's been all right here. Jimmie Johnson, man, if he didn't get swept up in that, I think I spun out or something last week. Can't remember how it happened. But he was driving so well, and he clawed his way back to 26th, and did us kind of a disservice, getting swept up in the muck and mire, but it wasn't his fault, truly. I mean, Jimmie was racing really well. He was top, I think he was 8th or so when he got, I think somebody just caught his back bumper and spun him out, or the air, maybe there's the air off somebody's bumper, kind of got up underneath his hood and it sent them off to the side or something. I can't even remember what happened. Erik Jones, but yeah, anyways, he's going to be in our player pool. I like the price point at 8.9K, and what I do like off him is going to be a nice little pivot away from Erik Jones, who, if we're looking at his history here, 7th, 3rd, 4th, 7th in the last 4 races here, Erik Jones will be highly owned this week. Christopher Bell, 71 odds. I like him. He's just a really good driver. 8.1K upside for days, as always. Tyler Reddick drove here last year, started, I think, 21st, finished 9th. Let's take a peek here. Started 21st last year, finished 9th. He does great in these fast tracks too. These short tracks, 1.5 mile track here. Texas Motor Speedway did great last week, finishing 2nd. You don't put him in your player pool, you're in trouble. Cole Custer, put the rookie in there. He's driving so well, man. Let's see, Texas Speedway last week, he finished 39th. Oh, that's right. He got in a wreck. He was in a wreck. All right, Ricky Stenhouse. Yeah, Recky. 125-1 odds. I like this. I like this a lot. This is an interesting spot. He's been driving so poorly. I think his ownership will be very low. I like his starting position. If you look at his last several races, he's been high, right? We're talking 17, 19, 20, 14th, 4th, 24th, 14th, and 13th starting position. I mean, even going it's going to be all the way back to May 27th since we've seen him in the mid-20s starting position. And now we get him starting 25th on a track that he has finished no worse than 20th since, well, just once since 2015. I mean, that's pretty solid, man. And we're looking at maybe 10 to 15 spot upside for position differential, Ricky Stenhouse. And, if he sneaks in the top 10, that's pretty solid return. You can kind of see the one race here where he started 24th. That was his one opportunity to show us what the type of laps and points would be here. Let's see. All right, 267 started 16th, finished 11th. Only had 10 laps led, 0 fastest, got 40 points. I mean, imagine he finishes 11th this week with a starting position of 25. So you're getting another 9 points off position differential to raise that ceiling. And if he gets any lead or fastest laps, that will also increase his scoring ceiling. So I really like Ricky Stenhouse there. Michael Mcdowell, I like that his price is still 6.2K. I'm not a big fan of him being up there at 27th, but as you see, it does not really matter. This guy is way better than what he's getting priced at. He's basically a week in and week out lock to return like 7 to 10 times value, and I see no difference this week. Maybe you could point to his past not doing well here. It's one of his worst tracks if you compare it to all of his other ones, and his driver rating is so low on this track compared to some of the other tracks that he has history on. But still, the way he's driving so well. These 1,001 odds surely are showing that maybe his track history is not. Maybe it's going to play into him not having a good week. I don't know, but I'm willing to invest into him and see what happens. JHM, because it's easier to say, 451 odds. I think that's indicative of his talent here, and I think he's in a good spot to have position differential. Corey Lajoie raced really well last week, 16th? Not bad, baby. Let's look at his history here. 28, 22nd, 34, 24, 27, 27. Okay, what's he starting? 31st? He's got a little bit of upside here. I mean, he's not going to be a high ceiling driver. He's going to be somebody who can be like a little pivot off of some of these cheaper guys down here. Now we're going down here to Ryan Preece. He's finished here 12th, I think, 2 years ago. 12th last time they raced here this past October. So, okay, I like that. But Ryan Preece, what I really like is starting 35th. And, I don't have average finishing position up because it's on my study hub, of course. But I think it's like 22nd or 23rd. It's up there. So, Preece, 10 to 12 spot upside if he can finish, if he can finish in the teens. I mean, you're looking at a guy who could return 40 plus this week at 5.8K. So, just a real quick player pool right there. I mean, I don't know how many guys I have. 15. There you go. That's like a real quick one. That's what I'm just going to build off of quickly for DraftKings. So let's see what some of these look like. Let's say we wanted to start with, let's stay off of Harvick here. Let's go with some differential. And let's go Chase Elliott. I like Chase Elliott in the 11th spot right here. Truex Jr., not bad. Also, Ryan Blaney, 9.9K. So hard. What was his starting position? 4th. Okay, Truex is 5th. I mean, Truex on 1.5 mile tracks, man, he is so good. Might be a little underrated, under-owned too. I mean, anybody looking at the track logs, if you want to call them game logs, they might hop off him. Ryan Blaney might be the hot number here, right? 113 last week, 62, 64. Basically, if he doesn't wreck, he's going to just smash. He's been so good. I get it. I'm not going to argue it. All right, so let's go. Let's try to get off of those guys, though. Let's try to get off Blaney. Let's try to get off Harvick. Let's go to Elliott and Truex Jr. Try to be a little bit more unique. Let's go down here. Let's grab this value and just see what we're left with. So if we plugged in 2 of the value options down here, and I could have gone with John H. Nemechek, but here we are, 8.2K. That's a lot of money, my friends. I mean, we already talked about Boyer at 7.5K, Reddick at 8.3K. I mean, this thing built itself. This is just an initial. Please, again, this is not something I think is worth putting in there and hoping you win some money with. You can go off, if you're not a Preece believer, try to go off of him and go up and get I'm not a big fan of any of these guys, though. Maybe Mcdowell up to Nemechek, but still, I mean, Mcdowell is just a starting position, I think, one or two more higher. Is it 27th? I think I saw Nemechek at like 20th or 30th. I think McDowell's just a little bit better driver. I'll take him. I mean, I assume you could potentially just go off of someone like Boyer, go down to Stenhouse, and if that gets you off Priest, there you go. You can get off Priest there and put in Nemechek. So there's a good way to do another one, too. So Elliott, Truex Jr., Nemechek, Mcdowell, Reddick, Stenhouse. If you get off some of these higher price guys in the top 10 and you want to just go more fair and balanced here, I think you can go down with somebody like Blaney, save a little money. Now you got another $800 if you want to get off Stenhouse. If you're not a Stenhouse believer, I think it's a good week to use him. I truly do. You can plug him in there and feel pretty good about it. If you want to get off Tyler Reddick and you want to go with somebody who has been, 4th, 7th, 4th, and something or whatever we saw. Let's see, in the last 3 or 4 races here, let's go Kansas Speedway. 7th, 3rd, 4th, 7th. He has driven so well here, Erik Jones. Problem with Erik Jones, man, he is so boomer bust as of late. If he's not in the top, about top 10, he's like outside the top 20. And, the starting position 21 kind of builds a little bit safer floor, I suppose, being a little bit lower like that. But they priced him up as if he's going to be higher owned. And the Vegas odds at 30-1 is pretty indicative of the fact that he's going to do really well here. He has a good shot of doing really well. So that's a nice way to go ahead and target that. If we're on Fantasy Cruncher here, I mean, there's a way where you could simply just start a quick, player pool like this, set it up so you have 4,900. 49.2K, ran this at like 5. Of course, you'll want to upload my projections. And let's add these drivers to a quick group. These will be like, the initial, right? The initial targets, whatever you want to call them. All right, and you say must use 5. All right, now we can go back to all players, and we could just add them all. And if you just want to pump out some lineups real quick, I wonder how many we can get here with that $49,200 salary minimum, and then saying I need at least 5 of the drivers I asked for. I bet you can do pretty well here, and maybe we won't even get stopped at 100 lineups or so. I think we should be able to get 150. It's not going to get bottlenecked. Jimmie Johnson, I mean, these are not my projections. This is Fantasy Cruncher. Jimmie Johnson, I would definitely want to cap that. I'm not a huge JJ fan here. Jimmy, I do want exposure to, but we're talking like 25, 30% potentially. This little section, and let me show you, this is going to be the section I'm looking at. It's 19 through 25, and their exposures right here, a couple of them are pretty high. Boyer 53, Jimmy 76, Jones 72, Christopher Bell 27, Reddick 65, Custer 18, Stenhouse 21. That's not bad, but I want my projections in there, and I'm going to redo this for sure. If you're going up here, look, I mean, it gave me 32% Elliott. That's good. Kyle Busch, I don't want 14%. Actually, I like Kurt Busch a little bit. He's had some good history here, even though he's not the greatest driver as of late as well. Historically, he's done very well here, and that could be an interesting spot at just 8K. He might be one of those dark horse targets at 26-1 odds too. So that's an interesting one. I kind of like him a lot there. Truex Jr., Blaney, yep, they're popping. I'm going to want more exposure to Kevin Harvick. That's for sure. So, all right, my friends, listen, I just want to get the juices flowing. I want to do like an old school donut stream where it's very simple. I'm looking at what I got on FC. I'm looking at DraftKings. I'm starting to plug in some lineup stuff and just putting it all together and letting you see me preview the slate for the first time together. And I think that's a really good way to go. Listen, if you want all the exclusive, my tiered rankings for MME, tiered rankings for single entry, my personal player pools, all the picks, MME, cash, risers picks, if you want the projections for FanDuel and DraftKings, ownership projections for FanDuel and DraftKings, my personal MME exposures, all of CG's exposures, and then our final thoughts. We have a final notes section on Discord that we plug in, and of course, 30,000 messages every 2 weeks in Discord between our 9 coaches and our 380 members. Things are popping inside Rise or Fall. If you want a piece of it, go ahead and dive in at patreon.com/rise or fall. My friends, I hope I see you checking that study hub out tomorrow. I hope I see you in Discord. Together, we rise or fall. Take care, everybody.